Welcome to our ILADD Family Connect tonight, focusing on mental health, the connections and resources. And thank you to all of those that are here tonight, the various support services and vendors that we're going to be hearing from. My name is Tom Easterday, and I have the privilege of being the president of ILADD. And thank you to all of you who are catching us online this evening, as well as all of you that are here in person. I was talking to someone this afternoon, and we were saying it's great to be able to have all these in-person meetings now. But I know some of you couldn't make it, and we're glad you can join us online tonight. In just a moment, I'll introduce our program manager, Michelle Gray, but I would like to take a moment. Michelle does a fantastic job, and our program committee as a whole, they all do a fantastic job. If I could have the members of the program committee stand up or wave, I think they deserve a round of applause. For those of you in attendance, please help yourselves to the water and the snacks over there at the table. For those of you online, we do have great snacks, so hopefully you can be with us in person in the future. We also request that you complete the survey. It's very important for us for future programming and to continue to enhance the programming that we have. We do have some upcoming events, and I'm going to touch on a little bit more about ILADD and its mission in just a moment. I know many of you in the room have heard this speech, so I'll go through that somewhat quickly, but I know some online have not. But some of the upcoming events we do have a hiking club here at ILADD, and we've got an exciting hike coming up this Sunday, April 24th at 1 o'clock. We'll be starting at Newfields, which is the Indianapolis Museum of Art grounds. We'll be going up the Canal Towpath, which part of that goes right between the canal and the White River there, all the way up to the gardens at Butler University. So it's going to be a really pretty hike up there and back, again, starting at 1 o'clock. If you'd like to register for any of these programs, just simply email program.manager@iladdinc.org. So it's program.manager@iladdinc.org. Also, we've got a great social outing coming up. It's getting close to race time in Indiana. And we have a special outing on April 30th to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for a Kiss the Bricks tour. That's going to be a lot of fun. We are limited in number that we can have on that, so please register soon if you plan to be participating in that. Also, we are kind of reinvigorating and starting up a special self-advocates group. We started off ILADD getting a lot of input from the self-advocates and their families through an informal group, so we're formalizing the self-advocates group, and they'll be meeting on May the 2nd, and there'll be more information coming out on that. So please check our website out, again, iladdinc.org, and also our Facebook page. We do have Instagram also. I don't do Instagram, so I can't tell you everything that's on there, but I'm sure there's a lot of pictures on there, I know, as well as on our Facebook page. Real quick about ILADD, and I'm sure most of you are very familiar with what our purpose is, but our mission, as you can see up there, it's a three-pronged mission. It is to provide housing, enrichment and educational programs, and social options. And as you can see, we want to really enable the adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities to be able to live in homes of their own, possibly, but we also like people to come and participate in our independent living classes and other programs that are going to be living outside of our future housing development Crossbridge Point. Maybe they're already living in a home of their own, maybe they're living in an apartment, or maybe some other setting at this point. But certainly the goal is to provide opportunities that are equal or as equal as possible in nature to the opportunities that those that don't have disabilities have. We want certainly everyone with an intellectual and developmental disability to enjoy a fulfilling and meaningful life and be an active participant in their communities. We do have 3 now self-advocates actually on our board of directors, and there aren't too many organizations that have self-advocates participating in every single board meeting. One of them is here tonight with us, Katie Shaw. Katie, you want to wave there? And very proud of Katie. She is actually a national speaker, and she's not only been around the country making speeches, but she has met with the president in the Oval Office too. Something that I suspect she's the only one in the room that's done that. So very proud of having Katie on our board. Alec Curtibes is also on his board. Alec's mom, Lisa, is here with us tonight. And we also Justin Breed just joined our board of directors in November. Very proud to have the self-advocates on the board and to get their input on a lot of different matters. We do have a lot of enrichment educational programming. I pointed out earlier that we have a hiking club and social outing, and we're starting the self-advocates group. We have things like cooking class, relationships class, safety class. There's other classes planned for the future. We also have a community service club that is just forming. They actually did do 2 things already. One is we're key participants in the Whitestown Easter egg hunt over the weekend, which I guess was a lot of fun. And we got an email from Whitestown saying we basically saved the day for them because they didn't have enough other volunteers show up. So they did a great job with that. But a picture here, and we've got a lot of pictures again on our Facebook page and website, highlights the cooking class, the independent living skills. We know that a lot of the individuals, the adults with IDD, through the transition programs in high schools, learn quite a few skills. We aim to enhance those skills and also help them retain those skills. Again, we have a lot of social activities and outreach activities. The Family Connect meeting tonight certainly is one of our outreach activities. And when we have the Family Connect meetings, usually 2 weeks before those, we have our informational seminar, and then the Family Connect allows us to do a deeper dive and also have some connections and resources. So we're glad you're all here tonight for that. A lot of other activities we have, the book club, which meets on Wednesdays at Panera at Traders Point in Indianapolis. We also, and right now we just started reading Tom Sawyer, just finished reading A Wrinkle in Time. And right before that, we read a book called The Hero Two Doors Down that Jackie Robinson's daughter wrote about Jackie Robinson. So we've had some great books so far this year. The hiking club, I mentioned, has a big hike coming up on Sunday. We have been to several state parks. We've been to Starkey Park here in Zionsville, Eagle Creek Park a few times. It's really a lot of fun. Hike about 3 miles and generally have anywhere from 7 to I think we've had as many as 15 self-advocates participate in the hikes. In addition to that, last summer we had a fitness club. That was a lot of fun, and actually Merritt in the back there was our fitness instructor last summer. So if you want to learn more about fitness, which is very important for all of us, including those with IDD, Merritt can help you out with that. We're working on several other things, but I want to point out one that's on there is game night on the 2nd and 4th Thursdays of each month at Amori Restaurant and Pizzeria. I guess it's Pizzeria and Ristorante, technically. Yeah. Thank you. That's my son, Matt. Yes, at Amori, we get together and we had 4 tables of adults with IDD playing games, everything from Uno to Jenga to bingo to poker to, they played, what was it, Cranium, I think was the new game last time. Just all sorts of games, and it's loads of fun. Again, check out the Facebook page. You'll see a lot of pictures from game night and other events that ILADD sponsors and hosts. So those social activities, those outreach, you can see the informational workshop slide here talks about some of the informational seminars that we have coming up. I know we have obviously the mental health awareness one, was 2 weeks ago, and this is the follow-up Family Connect meeting. One on future planning that's coming up, I believe, later in August. Is that correct? Yeah. Yes, coming up in August. Is going to be really good, and I think you're going to get a lot of great information from that one. So please watch our website and email for announcements about that. And of course, in addition, as I said, the 3-pronged mission, in addition to our informational, educational, and enrichment programming, and also those social options and outreach that we offer, we are hoping in the future to have a development called Crossbridge Point, and that does have its own separate website if you'd like to go there and look at some of these. These, again, are just conceptual renderings at this point. We still intend to get lots of input from the self-advocates and others, and also go through a capital campaign. And if we can raise enough money in the capital campaign, one of the dreams of ours also is to have a community center on site there. We're working right now on the land acquisition for Crossbridge Point. So to wrap up quickly here so we can get on to the program this evening, feel free to contact us. I know many of you have already. You can leave a message at our phone number, 317-207-0805. Obviously, info@iladdinc.org if you'd like to leave a written message for us. And again, feel free to go to our website and learn additional information about ILADD, or our Facebook page, or on Instagram also. So with all that, thank you again for coming here this evening. I want to reintroduce to you our program manager, Michelle Gray, and Michelle will set us off for the program this evening. Thank you all for coming. Michelle?
Thank you. Hello, thank you for everybody who's here with us tonight. I just wanted to share with you that tonight's format is going to be just a little bit different. When the program committee sat down and decided what we wanted to do with the services and the programming that we provide, we had called this Family Connect because we wanted families to literally be able to connect with one another and to some of the resources that are out there. So we are going to have one speaker tonight, a little bit of time for Q&A, and then we're going to release you to kind of browse some of the tables that we have set back at the different providers in the back. They're going to do a little bit of a brief introduction so you know who's here and what services and organizations they represent. And then we're going to give you some time to connect with the people around you and to visit the tables in the back. So, as Tom said, our topic for this month is mental health awareness, and we had a mental health counselor speak with us a couple weeks ago. And tonight we have a speaker who has been with us once before, back in February. Maggie Brown was with us and did a presentation on promoting independence. And she had a slide on whole self-care that really intrigued us. So when we got to thinking about the mental health topic, we suggested that we would love to have her come back, and she graciously agreed. So I am going to introduce you to Maggie Brown. She's been a resident of Zionsville since the 80s. She's actually a graduate of Zionsville High School and then moved on to Purdue University. She's actually been in teaching roles in a variety of settings since '96. She's taught in hospitals, elementary schools, middle schools, at the high school level, homeschool programs, and has also taught at the School for the Blind and Visually Impaired. For the last 9 years, she has been a teacher for the IPS and IUPUI Site Transition Program, which is a postgraduate program. And she has 5 children, ages 8 to 23. So if we thought she hadn't done enough in her career, we can give her also the credit for being a busy mom on top of that. She's passionate about post-secondary opportunities, mental health issues, and self-care, and that's why she was the perfect candidate to come and share a little bit more with us this evening. So I would like to welcome Maggie Brown. Sorry, I didn't have this ready for you.
That's okay.
Is Peter coming up here with you?
Yeah. So I need to stay by this. Thank you again for having me tonight. I was asked to come actually with my sidekick Gwen, and she's not able to join us. So I have some familiar faces, former students of mine in the audience. So I had asked them if they would want to come up and help. So Peter and Alex said they would. And I would love for you guys to come up here if you want. There's no pressure, you don't have to, but if you'd like to be a part of this, I would love to have you up here. Thank you. Okay, so one of you maybe can just move the slides, and the other one maybe read some of the slides, and I can talk about the slides. I know we have limited time, and there's a little activity I wanted to do with everyone. So maybe, I don't know, Jill, give me a holler if I'm running over, okay? Or someone, okay? Oh, yes, Michelle, thank you. Well, again, so thank you for having me, and I will try to, this whole Facebook thing is new to me. So anyway, welcome. Thank you for joining. So when I look out, when I think about all the hats we wear, I get very overwhelmed with all the hats I wear, like mom, all the caregiving that we do as a parent or a caregiver, an employee, a sister, an auntie, the list goes on. Okay, so we have all these hats, and the parent hat, I can never take it off. Okay, who's in that boat? We can never take that hat off, right? So we have to always wear that hat, which is a great hat to wear, okay, because we love you guys. But having like self-care is one of those things that I feel like over the past couple of years, it's really been, it's just really been kind of at the forefront with COVID and being home. And we did a whole, really sank into like that whole SEL piece when we were doing our virtual. And it is something that I think we just take for granted. And we just don't realize that we need to stop, take the time, and take care of ourselves, right? So I think that, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist. I just want to say that there are professionals out there that know much more than I do. I just go from the years of experience I've had teaching and then being a mom, and then also learning from my students that, they are such a blessing to me, and they've taught me so much about how important it is and to take care of myself. So, thank you, Peter. So I think we give so much of ourselves, and I'm one of those people, and maybe you guys are like this too, where you can say all the things that people need to do to take care of themselves, but then like stopping and doing that for ourselves it's really hard. So the first slide, do you want to read that? Oh, you got to come over here. I was told that we have to talk into the microphone.
The best health care plan is a self-care plan.
Yay! Yes, so true. Okay.
People ask, what is self-care? Self-care is any activity that we intentionally do in order to take care of our mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health. The first step in taking care of yourself is knowing who you are, what works for you, and believing what you deserve to take care of yourself.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. So raise your hand if you feel like you can say you know who you are at this stage in your life. Do you know who you are? Kind of like half up, right? But we're getting there. But you know what? To understand who you are, it means that you have to slow down and take time and like really invest in yourself, okay? So again, this is something that it's easy to tell the ones that we love as a caregiver, like really, take care of yourself. Let's, do all these things so that you can understand who you are a little bit better. But we forget that we're a big piece of that picture, okay? Because we can't give to someone else unless we are giving to ourselves. And we'll get to that in a little bit. Do the next slide.
Your body, mind, and spirit are all connected, so it's important to take care of each area very carefully.
Do you agree with that? Do you believe that like our systems are all connected?
Yes. Yes. I like to do for that. Let's say our bodies in God's hands, because we are Christians. Take care of yourself. God always love you. We put you in your hands. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you can tell what that's really important to Peter, and I love that he shared that. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so can I read this one? All right, thank you. Your self-care plan is created by you for you, and I think this is so important. What works for you may not work for someone else. And I think with social media, I think we kind of get inundated with all of these different ideas. And granted, there is a lot to like seeing something that you think might work for you and trying it out. Like, that's great. I think that's a part of that process. But I think where, as a parent especially, like sometimes I think I know what works for my son or daughter, and like they should be doing that because that's what I do, so they should do it. And that's not how self-care works, okay? Self-care is something that you really have to know who you are so you can say what you need. And I have this saying that you have to name it to claim it. And I really feel like you need to know yourself enough so that you can name those things that you need. And then you claim them so they don't claim you, and then you can kind of move on and really, come up with some really good solutions and to fill your bucket. Okay, you want to do the next one? You're doing so good, thank you.
Okay.
Self-care is not something that another person can make another person do. You have to know and understand yourself first and choose to take care of yourself.
Okay, kind of goes back to what I was just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, you do have something to say?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just like he just like he said self-care.
Yeah.
I tell it to people. I tell them to people about this. It's self-care.
Oh, yeah, so-
It's not. Guys, sorry about just talking. No. Just like Alex said, Alex thank you for you talk about self-care. No, okay, now say yes. God saying, just I said, God saying, take care of yourself now. Take care of yourself. In the self-care is now. God says now, focus on you. Because self-care is not, self-care is not self-care. Focus on God is not. It is to take care of yourself. God said, take care of yourself. We are Christians. It's not, we're not, again, just by IPI, it's not. Don't be yourself.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah. So that that choice of, I think that's really hard as well, because it's so easy for us to just give everything that we have into caring for other people. Okay, and so then there's nothing left for yourself. And so you've really got to say, no, I'm important enough. Like, I'm going to honor myself enough. And I'm going to set some time aside and do those things that I need so that I can take care of other people. Okay, you want to do the next?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your self-care plan is something that changes over time depending on your needs.
Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. You want to go to the next slide?
Knowing how to take care of yourself, how to fill your cup, is up to you. You cannot rely on others to fill your cup for you.
Yeah, so this is really tricky, I think, sometimes. You know, we all appreciate the care that other people give us, but when that is gone, we have to prepare for the times that that's not going to be there anymore. And you have to be strong enough and comfortable enough and know yourself enough that you are still going to be able to take care of yourself with those other influences. Maybe somebody on your team or in your family is no longer there, and they were really lifting you up in a way that now it's on you to do that. Okay, so I think that shift of let me take care of you to let me teach you how to take care of yourself. That's just this, you know, it's a balance. I mean, I still want my mom to take care of me, but I know it's not her main responsibility. She'll always be my mom, but I know that I have to fill myself up and do for myself. Okay, you want to do that? And I really liked this visual here. So at the top, you'll see some buckets, you know, fun, hobbies, friends, and some other little words like leisure, relaxation, right? Good diet, all those things give us energy and they fill our buckets. Yay, fill my bucket. But then we see all these holes, okay, and all that's kind of flowing out, right? And so, you know, what can cause those holes? Things like poor sleep, worries, guilt, family stress, money stress, relationship stress, so many things. And they're different for all of us. So we just have to make sure that we are continually filling our bucket so that as, you know, all of those things in the bottom, that's called life, guys. That's just life, and that's going to happen. And it looks different for all of us. But I think just, you know, that top part right there. And again, as a caregiver, it's really easy to plan and do all of those things for someone else when you love them, and that's what you do as a caregiver, and forget to do it for yourself. Okay, so then before you know it, your bucket is dry. Can't pour from a dry bucket, can you? Okay. Gonna go to the next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, so we'll focus on 3 areas really fast. So when students come to our program, again, we look at the whole person. And so when I say that, I just mean that we're not focused on, okay, come to our post-secondary program and like we're focusing on a job and then you're out the door. So we try to have it broader than that. So it's, you know, based on, you know, relationships, friendships, taking care of yourself in all these different areas. It could be, somebody wanting to, relationships or a family. It could be just trying new things, transportation, the gamut. I mean, it's a large, many areas that we focus on for a whole person. And it's whatever that adult wants to focus on. But we really do, when it comes down to self-care, work on creating a tangible plan with them because, I don't know how many of you in here use like your notes app or something to keep track of things. Anyone in here? Am I just like the only one that does that? Okay, I have so many notes apps that I share with people, and it keeps me accountable, okay? Sometimes I do have to put on there like time to take some time for yourself, a 10-minute break or whatever. Otherwise, I'm just constantly, doing. So here are some suggestions or some ideas, things that our students have done, are doing, things that have worked for them, things that have worked for me. And so as we kind of go through this, and we'll highlight a few, but think about your own emotional needs and how you care for those needs yourself and how you honor those needs. So I think when a lot of our students are I'm an IPS school teacher, so a lot of our students are inner city. So we have to be very mindful of just like cultural influence as well. So sometimes it is not viewed positively, let's say, to go to a counselor or to speak about your emotional state, for example. So that wouldn't be on someone's self-care plan, not on everyone's. But I think some of these, like morning self-checks, that's been a really, really positive one for our students to kind of incorporate. Again, suggestions, then you take what you need, what resonates with you, and then you can turn that into your own plan. But that's just like waking up and saying, like, how am I doing today? Like maybe it's a rating scale, a 1 to 3. And I think that then having, like you own that, okay, I'm at a 2, why am I at a 2? Like who can I share that with? What can I do to kind of fill myself so that I'm at a 3? But it's that self-reflection piece that I think that maybe some days I'm really bad at it. Some days I don't do that at all until like maybe the evenings. But so that morning self-check, I think that's a good thing that you can do independently, or you can do that as a family, or with more than one person. What's something on that list, Alex, that you do or have done in the past?
I would say that the one that I did the most probably was trying to find a hobby, definitely, because it really helped me find a little more piece of myself more and know what I want to do.
I love that. Thank you. And what is your hobby? Did you find one?
I did.
Yeah?
And the hobby that I found is I like helping people very much.
Oh.
And so that's why I currently now work at a nursing home. And basically how I come to know the residents, if they're having a bad day, I just go, how can we make it a great day for you?
I love that. Okay, thank you. All right, so the body, that's our next area. Do you want to move on to the next slide, please? I think these are a little bit easier sometimes to think about. Like, what are we doing to honor and care for our physical bodies? Exercise. Who in here exercises? Call out some things you do. What do we do? What do you, ooh. Okay, we've got running. What else? Yeah.
Going for walks.
Going for walks, okay. Anything else? Swim. Oh, yeah, that's right. Peter, you like, ooh, did I hear cycling?
And
Did I hear
running.
cycling? Okay.
And running.
And running.
With,
Do you see that?
With Matt.
Yeah, so that's on this
Yep.
list. Okay.
Yes, you. Such about Matt.
Yeah, Okay, so you probably hear like parents and caregivers say some of these, like eat healthy foods, drink lots of water, and go to bed early, and turn off your iPad or your phone, right? So those are all things that, again, we need to remind ourselves about, and I've been trying to do a better job of setting my own goals, like no screen time after a certain time, okay? Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right, so spirit. I think that, Peter, you've touched on this a little bit and what kind of resonates with you, but can you go to the next slide, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, so how do you care for and honor your spiritual needs? So again, think about that for a minute and what resonates with you. I have put together, like at my house, I don't want to call it an altar, but it's like a little spiritual, what did I call a sacred place? Yes, thank you. That's what I called it earlier, and I couldn't think. A sacred place. So I think it's really nice to have a visual, tactile area. Okay, so like in my room or downstairs, because every time I look at it, it reminds me. It means something to me. Like I owned creating that space. I know there are things in that space that I can go and like maybe there in mine there's oils and there's like this beautiful crystal tree and a meditation book and a picture of my family. And so I think it's really nice to have that just again as a reminder to like, hey, slow down, come over and find something that you need here. And we'll do an activity here in just a minute that could go into that space as well. Does anyone else in here have a sacred space? Michelle has a sacred space. Okay, see a hand in the back. Okay, see a hand here. Wonderful. Is there anything you want to share that's in your sacred space?
No, it's just kind of like I know, I think my family knows when I'm there, just like I need time out.
Okay, I love that. That's really beautiful. Yeah. Like that's your area. Okay, that's like your zen, your zone. Some people it's outside. Maybe it's doing an activity. I mean, again, it's all so personal. Yeah? Okay, and like you were saying, church is really important to you. So again, some different ideas up here. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. I don't even know how many slides I got. Okay, yeah, so this is just a reminder of how incredible we are, right? And then we need to nurture and love our mind, body, and spirit, and celebrate ourselves, right? And care for ourselves every day. All right, who here gives themselves big old hugs? Oh my gosh, let's try it. Wrap your arms around
Come on,
yourself.
try it. Here.
Okay, I know maybe it seems a little strange, but like, I don't get hugs as much as I used to anymore, and I really like it. Again, it resonates with me. I like it. You don't have to use it in part of your self-care plan. So I think it's really important, again, to remember that we can't pour from an empty cup. So you've got to make sure that your cup is full. Remember the bucket picture, okay? You got to make sure that that's full before you can give to anyone else. Otherwise, you're just going to feel so drained. I'm sure none of us in here ever feel drained, do we? So we've got a little activity to do because I'm all about hands-on. Like I said, it just makes it's like more concrete. Who here likes those kinds of things? Okay, you don't have to do it, but we have little buckets that you guys can take with you, and in each bucket are strips of paper. So I would love for you to spend a little time thinking about and writing or drawing, like if you don't want to write, you want to draw a picture, that's fine. So, because I knew we'd be kind of crammed for time, I just put 2 ideas. So take 2 strips and write down 2 ideas. Oh, well, that's strange. I did advance. What happened? I don't know. I need your help. I'm sorry. I think I hit the wrong thing. I'm almost done, though, and I need your help. I feel like I'm much better than I was the last time. Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Oh, this is the mirror. We don't want mirror. We want this. But I'll talk about mirror, then we'll go back. Okay, so this is really fun. If you've never done this before, I know how much you all love the hugs. So this one is when you stand in front of the mirror, and you don't say mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all, because, you could, but you don't have to. But it's kind of the same thing. Like, you're going to tell yourself 2 positive things about yourself looking into that mirror. okay? Like, good morning, Maggie. You're gonna have an amazing day. You look great today. Good hair day. You know, you're gonna rock it. Whatever it is, okay? You're gonna tell yourself something and look at yourself in that mirror, and it's a little strange to do at first, but it really works. Sometimes I'll giggle, like I can't believe I'm doing it, and then just those endorphins and that smile, you know, just makes me feel better. It takes just a few minutes. So call that mirror, mirror. It's a fun one to do. Okay, so here, now it's up. So take two strips, and on those two, you're gonna write down like how you take care of and honor your emotional side or your mental health side. 2 strips for your physical self, 2 strips, ideas, things that you do to take care of your spiritual self. Okay, so that's 6 total. And then the other 2, you're gonna write 2 positive affirmations, and then you're gonna take those and put them in someone else's bucket. So what's a positive affirmation? Is it a feel good or a not feel good? It's a feel good. Okay, who loves to feel good? I do, all right.
Yeah.
So down the road, like if you wanna reuse these buckets and just fill them with positive affirmations, and before you head out the door, you just take one and you read it. Okay, do that. That's a great way to start your morning or end your evening, okay, whatever you need. So I'd love for you guys to spend a little bit of time doing that. If we have time, we can like share a few of them if we have any sharers. Otherwise, that is all I've got for you. So do you want me to just kind of go back there? Yes, okay. So just want to thank Peter and Alex. Let's say thank you to them. I so appreciate your time and your help. It's really it fills my cup to come here. As nervous as I am speaking, I am so like overjoyed to see, I mean, any familiar face, right? And I see quite a few. I see Mary Kelly, who I've taught with her when I was in Lebanon. It's just incredible. I haven't seen her for so many years, but to see my students like fills my cup. So I'm already overflowing right now, okay? Yeah. So, okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maggie. Always a wealth of information. Because Maggie's going to stick around, and because I'm hoping to have some extra time to browse and interact with everybody, I am going to take the liberty of skipping the question and answer at this moment so that we can get all of our vendors and providers in the back to come up here and be able to do their introductions. So if you guys would all come up here and do a little quick introduction for yourselves and your spiel. All of these people provide services that are in one way or another connected to mental health and caring for yourself. So we wanted to provide the opportunity for not only to see the list of activities and ideas that Maggie shared, which were spot on, but maybe to connect with some of the services that can help us connect specifically and maybe even act on some of those goals that we've written down for ourselves and how we will take care of ourselves. So feel free to just have a couple minutes and share about yourselves. And one of the things you should have received as you came in was a contact list for providers. So everybody that is here, you should have their phone number, email address, websites, those kind of things. And if you need anything additional or specific, we would love for you to connect with them in the back when they're finished.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bailey Reynolds. I'm with Morning Dove Therapeutic Riding Center here in Zionsville. We're just past the Creamery on 96th Street, and we provide therapeutic horseback riding lessons from the ages of 4, and I think our oldest rider's in her 60s. And we provide these services for emotional, physical, and cognitive challenges. And we serve about 68 riders right now that come Monday through Friday to our horse barn. We have 13 horses. We call them hero horses because they do such a great job in our program and help us out and help the individuals that come see us. But along with therapeutic riding, we have volunteer opportunities. So if horseback riding is not your thing, but you would like to come out to a very scenic and serene property and help do landscaping or barn work, or maybe you want to come out and brush a horse, we would love to have you. We provide many different things throughout the week, even on the weekends. So yeah, I'll be back there in the back, and I have brochures for volunteering and our therapeutic riding services. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening. I'm Dr. Beth Bartlett, and I have a functional medicine and holistic nutrition practice in Lebanon. And I want to thank you for the presentation this evening, because self-care really resonates with me. And talking about filling my bucket, and I work with filling my bucket from a nutrition and lifestyle perspective. So we're looking at food, and we're looking at, which is not a real popular topic even with me, but sleep, physical activity, and really kind of diving deeper into gut health and how that really affects the entire body, and the immune system, managing stress, managing inflammation in the body, and how well your body is detoxifying and getting rid of toxins that might be around, balancing blood sugar and those types of things. So I'd really love to visit with you in the back if you have any more questions. Thanks.
Apologize, I get brain blocked, so I had to write out everything. Well, hello, my name is Merritt G. I see some familiar faces out there. I am a recreational therapist with Ferraro Behavior Services. So for those of you who don't know what recreational therapy is, that is the integration of individuals with disabilities into the community. So basically, I form goals and objectives for each client based on what they would like to work towards and what I believe that they should work towards. So this creates an individual-centered approach as well as a team-based approach. So this can be, for example, physical, emotional, leisure, or social goals. So you can receive these services through the Indiana Medicaid waiver program, private pay, or group home contracts. So for an individual to take the initiative to better their mental health and wellness, they are increasing their overall well-being by taking care of their mind and body. So that was talked about today. So mental health and wellness plays a big role in recreational therapy because I provide services that help promote individual health and wellness, focusing on the mind and body. So by going out into the community and partaking in activities, this helps to increase overall mental health and utilizing the community. So I believe that through socialization and physical activity, an individual is enhancing their mental health and wellness to the best of their being. So I strive for all of my clients to be as happy and as healthy as possible while also promoting their independence. And I also encourage all my clients to continue working towards their goals on their own time, as well as being with me during their sessions. And that can be centered around their overall health, trying to get them in a routine so that they can work towards their physical, leisure, social, emotional goals. So taking care of oneself is a very important role that an individual can accomplish. And so through the help of services that I provide, such as recreational therapy, an individual can fulfill that role to the best of their ability. Later on, after discussions are over, you can feel free to stop by my booth. I have brochures as well, and any questions or comments. So please feel free to let me know. All right, thanks, guys.
Hi, I'm Jane Gailey, and I am Manager of Job Development at Best Buddies. And one of the things that I think about when I think of mental health is a support system. And whoever that may be for you, that may be your parents or your family, extended family, certainly friends, maybe people that you work with, all of that kind of comes together under our support system, and that's who we need to strengthen our mental health. Best Buddies has a number of different programs that support those, support mental health. The Citizens Program is our adult friendship program where we match you with a peer and you do social things together. either together as a pair or as a whole group. We certainly learned during COVID how terrible it is to be isolated. So one of the goals of certainly of Best Buddies is to get out and be with other people, and that certainly is important for everybody. So we have the Citizens Program. We have a Butler program as well, so you can match with other people and get out and do some things. And that also it adds to our self-esteem and to our ability to communicate with other people. So that's part of one of the pillars of what we do. Our ambassador program is another way to build our self-confidence and build our self-esteem. That's a program where we take our participants, our adults with intellectual disabilities, out into the community and do speaking engagements. We pair them with a speech coach so they learn about public speaking. And again, getting up in front of people, although nerve-wracking, is a great way to gain some self-confidence and to feel good about what we do. And that's a lot of what mental health is too, doing things that make us feel good. The last pillar that we have is a big one at Best Buddies, and that's our integrated employment program. And that's where we work with people to secure jobs and allowing them to earn an income and pay taxes and be independent and maybe do transportation on their own, all of those things to help support themselves. And certainly being able to contribute to another organization like a business, support yourself, all of those things are going to contribute to helping you feel better about yourself and making you feel like you're contributing, not only to your own life, but to the lives of others. So through our integrated employment, we focus on finding work that matches your interest, finding what you want to do, finding what you don't want to do. We do the support you from the start. We do discovery phase where we're matching you with different places just to kind of do that finding out phase. We also do some skill assessment to see what you're capable of doing so we can make the best match. We'll help you with the application. We'll help you with the interview. We'll help you know what to wear, those kinds of things. So job onboarding, and then we continuously provide you with job coaching. That it doesn't just stop when we get you to the job. We'll be there for job coaching throughout the whole time that you're there. And we have a number of different connections in the community and lots of different varieties of jobs, and we're always looking for more employers to pair with depending upon the interests of our participants. So the most important piece is that Best Buddies provides a connection for you to your community and to peers and to the world of work. And that's all a great contribution to all our mental health because we all need to have those connections. So feel free to come back and visit us at the table in the back.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rosalind Gaither, and I am a behavior consultant with Supportive Behavior Services. This is my first time being here, so thank you so much for inviting me. I had to write down my notes just in case I forget anything. We service behavior management services all over the state of Indiana. In our company, we have over 60 behavior consultants providing care, therapy, behavior plans. We go into the schools, we go into the homes, we connect with other providers, and we do whatever we can to keep everyone happy, the families happy, and to provide that mental health and awareness. I personally have worked with individuals with disabilities for over 10 years. My specialty is in applied behavior analysis, so if you have any questions about that, I will be back there at my table. I'm also a doctoral student researching therapeutic strategies to partner with applied behavior analysis providers. So being invited here was very fitting, so I can learn from others. In order to receive behavior management services, you must have the Medicaid waiver, and we also do some self-pay in order to get services. We work with kids between the ages of, I would say, 3 to adult. So I have a lot of different strategies on mental health and wellness, focusing on coping strategies. I have brochures, and I have stickers and candy back there. If you have any information or questions, I'll be happy to help you. Thank you for inviting me.
Hello. Unfortunately, I don't have candy, but I wish I did. And now I know what to bring the next time I come to one of these. My name is Katie Horn. I'm a music therapist with Dynamic Music Services. My information is not actually on your paper. I'm here for my coworker Janelle, who could not be here tonight because she's not feeling great. So if you want any of my contact information, you're welcome to ask me for it back at the table. I'll give it out to about anybody as long as you're nice enough. So I am a music therapist. Raise your hand if you've heard of music therapy.
I haven't heard of it.
Oh, that's music to my ears. Thank you. I love it. I also do a lot of humor. Comedy is not my calling, but it's a little side gig. My company is really big into a lot of taking care of the whole person, so I feel like this is a really cool thing for all of us. I like hearing about all these different holistic approaches to therapy and medicine, because we're all pretty similar in that. We actually are starting, hopefully soon, a music therapy and wellness group, which will be open to individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, neurotypical adults. It'll just be a big mixed bag of people. So I do have brochures for those if you'd be interested in a class like that. And I don't remember what else I was gonna say. So if you have any more questions, I'll be in the back and you can let me know. Thank you.
Thank you to each of the vendors and providers who have taken the time to be with us this evening. I want to say a special thanks to Maggie again for all the information. I loved the bucket activity. I think my favorite quote is that we need to learn to shift from being the let me take care of you to the approach where we're teaching our self-advocates how to take care of themselves. And sometimes we lead by example, and sometimes we have to make a specific effort to take a step back and let them figure out that role for themselves. So thank you for sharing that. I want to say thanks to Dominic, our audiovisual guy who always rescues us. We were having technical difficulties, and the last time it was a little bit of a nightmare, and he rescued us. There are still problems tonight, but he has a projector, so we were all set with the backup plan, so thank you, Dominic. And I want to say that April is Volunteer Appreciation Month, so I wanted to say a special thanks from me personally as the sole employee at this time in ILADD. I am sometimes the face of all of the programs, but I am definitely not doing all the work alone. So I want to say a special thank you to all of the volunteers on our program committee, which Tom had them stand up and wave, but they put in countless hours. We have Julie Daly with us tonight. She is our chief volunteer and coordinator of game nights, and we definitely could not run that activity without her. And then a special thank you to Tom, because so many people, I think, don't recognize the amount of time that he is putting into this. I think once we get our executive director hired and in place, he will be very, very grateful to be able to hand off some of those responsibilities. But please feel free to connect with our vendors, get as much information as you can. I just want to mention that we are always looking for volunteers, so if there's any role that you can see yourself jumping in, I'm going to be back at the ILADD table and would love to have you stop by. But thank you. Please feel free to browse. For the people that are online, I hope that you have signed in on the chat, or that you can send me an email letting me know about your participation. And at this point, we're going to end our live stream program so that we can just kind of browse and have the opportunity to connect with all of our vendors in the back. Thanks for coming this evening, and remember to help yourself to snacks.